I have the pleasure of speaking with Edward St. Onge today from Flip.to. If you haven't seen his solution, you should definitely take some time to check it out. And he's a great thought leader. So, Edward, thank you for taking the time to share your opinions with us, and let's have at it.
Sounds good.
How do you build lasting conversations with guests and prospective guests? Because I know that's what you're really about. Can you describe that a little bit for us?
The most important aspect to what our platform accomplishes for hotels is to get their digital communications to be more human. And so what we mean when we say that is, it's as simple as making sure your communications have a person attached to them. People don't want to receive messages from a building. People want to interact with people. Hotels also miss the chance to unveil the personality that their hotel has by doing types of generic communication. So all the communication and new communications we build for hotels all have a persona attached to them. So that's from a basic standpoint. And we start early with hotels. The main feature of Flip.to is this advocacy campaign system, which is really designed to get your already guests or your recently past guests to introduce you to their friends and family in a warm and trusted way. And then we take that introduction and nurture through very personal communications this friends and family, this audience of your guest down the path of booking. And nurturing is an important part of what we do because most of the people that your guests will introduce you to are not currently thinking about travel. So you're getting them before anyone else has even spoken to them. And you really have a chance to sway that if you communicate with them in the right way. The other thing we work with hotels on is helping them understand that there's a cost to every communication that they send. And what we mean by that is when you send bulk email because you have a need time, well, you easily track the revenue attributed to that. What you're not tracking is how that erodes your relationship with the people that communication wasn't correct for. So we've created engagement points to keep people constantly engaged with the hotel and then use the intent we learned from that and through the engagement to build sensible communication paths to have with each person.
Oh, great. So you're a big fan of the micro commitments and continued segmentation of lists to keep them engaged.
Well, absolutely. Because, think about it. Think about how people communicate. It's always a funny example I give hotels, but, the lack of calls to action that hotels put forth in their digital landscape and their websites and their emails and all of that, if you took what they make available for calls to action to everyone they interact with, it's as if you were a person walking up to a crowd of people and asking each one of them to sleep with you, because that is the main call to action that hotels have, which is book now, sleep with us. Right. So, you put that in front of enough people, and a certain percentage of them are going to say yes. But success in conversation isn't one-sided. It's not just broadcast out a call to action and get spammer type response. It's about understanding the person you're talking to and actually communicating. It's a back and forth. It's an understanding that's created and nurturing people to the path of then wanting to book now.
And I think a really great example of that is when you do campaigns during and after a wedding, and they become kind of viral campaigns inside of those people's friends circles and family circles. Can you tell us about the place that you see brand ambassadors playing in hotels' marketing mix in the future?
Listen, it's people in general, not even someone that you would consider even to the level of a brand ambassador. But humanity has more influence over each other than ever before in history. So a single person has direct impact in decisions that hundreds of people around them make. And that's never existed before. So even when you think brand ambassador, most people when they hear brand ambassador, they think large influencers. But what we've actually found the best brand ambassadors are the people who have a small network, 200 to 300 people, because they're highly engaged. They're keeping an audience that they are actually friends with or have some form of real connection with. So when you tap into that and you make that part of your entire guest journey, all of a sudden, the hundreds or thousands of people that you can engage and get to introduce you give you hundreds of thousands or millions of people in reach. And it's not just reach, it's trust. So this is going to continue to get deeper and deeper into all forms of marketing. And part of that is because the internet has made data freely available. So we don't trust it. We don't trust anything we see. But we trust people that we know, and we learn from the people around us. So that's where ambassadors or advocacy really is strong, is you're playing completely off of you have a relationship with someone, you've created trust with them, they're now taking that trust they have in you and extending it to the people who trust them.
It's very human. It all makes sense.
Yeah, it's how things have always worked. It's just the big difference is now there's a large scale to it, where before you did a great job with a guest and they loved you, they're going to tell one or two people. Now, with a click of a button or a quick message, they've told hundreds, and if any of them share it, you're reaching tens of thousands. And so that's going to play just a huge part in building brand awareness. And if you put the right engagement points behind that introduction, you're going to be able to track and convert a large percentage of that audience. And you're going to be doing it when no one else is spending money to do it. Because all hotel marketing, all travel marketing is all focused at the exact same moment in time, which is the moment that someone is ready to travel. Whereas if you can influence someone before they're ready to travel, you actually are driving the narrative, and you won before anyone else showed up to compete.
I love that. And you talked about trackability, tracking somebody from the first click attribution like they're talking about now. So what do you say to a hotel that says, hey, it sounds like the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I don't know how to track it, right? How do you use trackability to help hotels ease into using a platform such as Flip.to?
Yeah. Important to note here is we are software. So we're not a design firm. We're not a consulting firm. We're not a marketing agency. We are out-of-the-box, fully implemented software. And because of that, one of the benefits of being software end-to-end is you can track everything that happens, not just the big conversion points, but micro conversion points. And you can use other forms of data to even dissect even further, and we track all of that. And we do it at such large scale now because of how many clients we have. We can predict, just by asking a hotel a few questions, we can predict with very high accuracy exactly what the platform will do for them. And we love it because most hotels look at it and they go, well, how do you know this? And we can just call up endless amounts of similar hotels to them in different markets, exactly what they did, exactly what the history is, and this is how it's going to work for you. And that's the benefit of being software and not an agency that's putting together a one-time marketing push or something like that. You get all the architecture with us. You get the dynamic web experiences. You get the communications engine. You get the analytics engine. You get all the campaign management. You get all that out of the box, which then allows you to track full user lifetime journeys.
Wow, that's amazing. And when people get that, they put it in place. What are some of the great case studies that you've seen in their marketing and in their bottom line?
Some of my favorites are the ones that have gotten very creative. So because of everything we do, there's a lot of really interesting byproducts to our activities. One of them being an ever-growing massive library of guest stories. And to us, a story is a high-quality photo of their favorite memory during their trip, plus a fun story about what that memory was, and then also a short quote about their favorite part of their experience with the hotel. And the way we collect that for hotels is in a way that they completely own all legal rights to use that content in any way, shape, or form that they want. And, we use it a lot in a lot of our nurture paths and a couple other pieces, but our more advanced hotels have started using that content in other forms of their marketing, ranging from advertisements, digital advertisements, rather than putting up some type of generic landscape picture with a call to action of book now. They actually put up a full-blown guest story and do a call to action of see more stories. That has driven a ton of success. We have hotels that have gone the route of all of their, massive marketing campaigns and pushes use nothing but guest stories as content to add validity to the points that they're making on why you should stay with them. So those are my favorite studies because those hotels also tend to be our highest performing hotels. They're highly engaged. They have really good marketing tactics to begin with. And so we basically multiply it because every guest you get that we can interact with, we're going to add 10 to 15 of their friends and family as warm leads opted in to your marketing. So we build bigger databases. So if you know what to do with a database, you get a huge amount of impact. And then for the hotels that don't know what to do with a database, we also take care of that too for them. We help them build sensible communication paths to make sure that the people that we get them introduced to continue to be communicated with in the correct way.
Wow, that's very, very inspirational. And it really seems to me like inspiration is your product as well. So let me wrap this up. If any listeners are inspired by what they just heard, how can they get in touch with you? What's a good email? What's a good phone number to reach out to ask questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to learn more, you can visit Flip, that's Flip.to. If you want to email me directly, just email hello@flip.to. And then if you want to call, it's 407-341-5941. And any of those ways, you'll get to me very quickly.
Excellent. So I've just been speaking with Edward St. Onge of Flip.to. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you too. And thanks for everything that you're doing to help raise awareness on the importance of direct bookings.
Likewise. Have a great day.
All right.